Field mice are an animal that is too familiar to farmers in general. In the past, this animal often destroyed crops, but now it has become a specialty loved by many people. Mice often live in grasslands. They often dig in many places. It is considered a delicacy in some areas. Due to the recent increase in demand for rat meat, wild rats have decreased sharply, so many rat breeding farms have sprung up. Today, we will show you how Vietnamese farmers raise and harvest 2 million mice. Voles are the common name of a genus called Microtus in the family Chrysatidae. Voles are a family of rodents with about 155 different species distributed everywhere in the world. Usually, field mice will live in groups in fields or areas where crops are grown. This animal really likes to dig burrows deep into the ground so they can nest and live. Furthermore, these burrows also have the function of storing food for them in winter, on days when they cannot find food. The cage does not need to be too complicated. The best temperature is 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. Even though this rodent prefers darkness and thrives in the dark, there should still be a balance between light and dark for rats. You can install additional electric bulbs to stimulate mice to grow faster. The cage is also cleaned periodically to ensure there are no sources of infection for the mice. Adult mice are usually about 8 to 12 centimeters in size, and their body weight is about 15 to 36 grams. Usually, male mice will have larger bodies than female mice. The fur of these mice species is divided into 2 layers. The inner layer will be rough and gray-white. The outer layer will be a rougher yellow-brown. Breeding pairs of mice will be raised separately with 1 male and 1 female per cage. Field mice breed most from the end of April to the end of September of the lunar calendar every year. This is the time when crops are being harvested, so food production is extremely abundant. Mice are a breed that reproduces through mating between males and females. Female mice will become pregnant in about 21 days from the day of fertilization. On average, mice can give birth to 4 to 5 litters per year, each litter having about 10 babies. Mother mice will raise their pups for about 20 to 25 days by breastfeeding. After 1 week of age, they will be separated from their parents, and now they can find food for themselves. They will be transferred to be raised in centralized barns. Each of these centralized barns can raise 200 to 300 animals per barn. Field mice are considered one of the species that is extremely easy to raise and can eat everything. Fruit. This is the favorite food of hamsters. They can eat any kind of fruit, such as bananas, grapes, coconuts, apples, pears, and figs. Whether intact or rotten, fruit still attracts mice's sense of smell. Another food that mice love to eat is meat. Meat will help the mice's body stay healthy and function more quickly. After 2 months of raising, they will be harvested when they have reached the required weight. They will be shipped directly to the buyer or processing facility. The selling price is also quite high, ranging from $7 to $10 for 1 kilogram, including about 10 to 15 mice. We will take you to discover how mice are processed. People will boil water and pour the mice into it. They wait about 2 minutes and then put the mouse in a bowl of cold water. This makes plucking the mouse's fur easier. They will use their hands to simply and easily remove hair from the mouse. Rat meat is a nutritious food for human health. Rat meat is rich in protein, low in fat, and lean. It is a substance that is very beneficial for human health. The way to prepare rat meat is also very simple. It can be stir-fried, steamed, or fried. Rats have very good medicinal effects, including orange stains in young children, people with physical weakness, or bone and joint diseases. Rat meat also has the effect of brightening the eyes and making the mind more clear. After removing the fur, the mouse will have its legs, tail, and head removed. Then it will be dissected and cleaned inside. Because mice have many lymph nodes, the person doing the processing must be knowledgeable and proficient in this. The mouse will then be grilled until the skin is golden and can be processed into many different delicious dishes. Rat meat has a sweet, astringent taste, is non-toxic, and has the effect of replenishing oxygen, strengthening tendons and bones, and is very good for the heart of people with weakness. It can be said that rats are a valuable medicine in Oriental medicine, used by physicians and teachers as trusted medicine. When talking about the medicinal effects of rats, we cannot forget the stomach rats, a wonderful medicine that works very well for people with physical weakness to help them quickly recover, regaining spirit and clarity. These rats and the seeds used to make medicine need to be selected and are usually field mice, which are considered the cleanest and safest mice. You see, insects don't always harm things or animals. They have two sides that need to be used correctly. The goal will definitely bring practical results to us, correct? In many localities in our country, as well as many parts of the world, rat meat has become a specialty with a very high price. If anyone doesn't eat it, it would be a waste to go to these lands. Tiny cabbage, English name Brussels sprouts, a type of cabbage grown for its sprouts, originated from Belgium. Tiny cabbage has a diameter of about 2.5 to 4 centimeters. A large cabbage plant will contain tiny cabbages, which look very beautiful. Tiny cabbage is widely grown in countries such as Europe, North America, and places with cool climates. First, the most important and indispensable step in growing tiny cabbage is the seed. Seeds affect up to 60% of the plant's ability to grow and develop during the whole process of growing tiny cabbage. Seeds will be nurtured in an indoor environment where staff will control the temperature and humidity to ensure the seeds germinate. Seeds will be planted in fully automatic modular trays. Loose, fertile soil with lots of organic matter will be evenly covered on the tray surface to serve as a foundation for preparing to place seeds. The seeds will be mechanically placed into each tray, where 2 to 3 seeds will be placed in each cell. This helps the development process to have a germination and non-germination rate. The tray will be moistened and put into the greenhouse to begin the process of growing young plants. The germination process only takes about 10 days. Then about 2 to 3 weeks later, when the plants have 5 to 6 leaves, healthy plants can be selected for planting. When the trees are strong and healthy, they will be mechanically and on production line brought to the main field to begin the planting and care process here. Brussels sprouts are primarily a cool weather fall crop. Brussels sprouts are often grown indoors. Young plants are planted in the garden in August and begin to bear fruit in early October. Since Brussels sprouts are quite resistant to cold weather, the harvest can continue until after Christmas. Brussels sprouts are a slow-growing but very bountiful home garden crop. They require a long, cool growing season. Timing is important when planting and growing Brussels sprouts. Machines will be used in this planting. Workers will arrange the trays on the machine, and the machine's job is to plant them in the ground. Each machine can plant 8 seedlings at a time. Just like regular cabbage, mini cabbage also needs a lot of nutrients for the plant to grow. Therefore, land selection is also extremely important. The soil has good porosity, and especially the soil must be clean to remove larvae and microorganisms harmful to plants. Soil for growing tiny cabbages needs to be mixed with coconut fiber and rice husk ash in optimal proportions to increase soil porosity. In addition, fertilizer must be added to provide nutrients for the plants. Water is also one of the most important things that cannot be missed with an automatic watering system that will help plants always be hydrated. After 90 days, the plant has matured and developed sprouts. It is a short-term plant from sowing to harvest, from 90 to 120 days, and on average, each plant yields 150 to 170 mini corns. At harvest time, the machines will have the job of cutting the cabbage roots with sharp knives, and the workers will have the job of putting them into the machine to separate the cabbage from the stems. Sprouts begin to form in the lower leaf axils first, and then continue to grow and mature upward. Workers and machines will perform this job repeatedly until all the fields have been harvested. Once harvesting is complete, the sprouts will be loaded onto cars and transported to the factory for processing. The sprouts will be poured and passed through a vibrator, where the sorting process begins. The remaining small sprouts and leaves will fall into the filter. The small sprouts and leaves will then be processed to make compost, fertilizer, or animal feed. The high content of folic acid in tiny cabbage helps you remember longer and be more sharp. The remaining sprouts that have reached size will be transferred to the next step on the conveyor belt. Here, the sprouts will continue to be put through vibrators. They will remove the sprouts that are not the right size. And finally, we will get sprouts of similar size. Tiny cabbage has been shown to contain indole-3-carbinol, which promotes the detoxification of many toxic substances and increases its resistance to oxidation. Finally, they will be packaged with the size of 1 kilogram per bag, where they will be barcoded and sent to supermarkets for consumption or export. As you know, Today, there are more and more infertility problems, physiological weaknesses, in both men and women, or in many cases due to men having little sperm, so it is difficult to fertilize, or due to women having few eggs, so they cannot fertilize. There are cases of fertilization, but because the mother's uterus is weak, it cannot be retained, leading to miscarriage. There are also cases of birth defects. There are so many problems that we cannot predict in advance, and we can avoid them. Just prevent disease. Tiny cabbage has increased folic acid that helps promote fertility for both men and women, while reducing the risk of miscarriage and teratogenesis. Tiny cabbage is not only a vegetable, but also a medicine for everyone, from children to the elderly. Eating it is good for your health. Eating it for weaning children is rich in nutrients and increases disease prevention because it is anti-inflammatory. Eating more is good for the brain, helping to enhance memory and staying sharp. For growing children, more calcium helps increase height. For children of reproductive age, it increases fertility and reduces the possibility of miscarriage and birth defects. As for the period from 30-year-old onwards, cancer prevention. Thank you for watching our video today. Please leave me your opinion about this video. Goodbye, and see you again in the next topic.